So today we're going to talk real quick about a gel coat machine and what they do and the differences between a gel coat machine and the other options that you have for applying gel coat to your mold. So this is our Phoenix Apollo 20-to-1 gel coat machine. The only thing that makes it a gel coat machine right now is that the gun, which is actually back here on the end of this hose, but I'm just going to use this one from one of my other guns as an example. You have the chop motor mounted onto the gun, then it becomes a chop machine. If you want to take that off, then you can use it as a gel coat machine with different tips of different sizes depending on the size of the mold that you're spraying. Basically, this is a external mix machine that is closest thing I could compare it to would be a airless sprayer for painting your house. This right here is a big liquid pump, and this air motor up here is driven by air pressure. As the air motor cycles, pinned right here to the fluid pump, and the shaft just goes up and down, sucks resin or gel coat through this hose right here. We have it hooked up to this barrel of gel coat, and you have a catalyst pump on the side right here that is essentially a slave pump. It pumps as this goes up and down, pumping the gel coat, and you can adjust this knob right here to get your catalyst percentage. It goes all the way from 0.5 to 3%, and you pump it up, close this valve right here, catalyst is here, pump it up, and you take this pin right here, pin it to the main arm, and then once you put air to the air motor at the top, essentially, if you get lucky and all your O-rings are good and your air pressure is right and fiberglass gods are smiling on you that day, everything works perfectly. That's not always the case. These are high maintenance machines, and they seem to get really upset with you when you don't use them regularly, so definitely not something that I would recommend a hobbyist buy, not only because they're very expensive, they're high maintenance, but there's really no replacement for it. If you need to spray gel coat and molds and you're even remotely serious about it, you have to have one of these. The other ways that you can get by is a cup gun, which I'm not even going to talk about because I hate them. If you want to figure those out, you can go figure them out somewhere on Google, but they're not going to get you very far, so I suggest you don't even bother. There's probably guys out there that'll disagree with me, but I've had my time with cup guns, and my opinion on those won't change. Other option, pressure pot. Still not my favorite. Pretty low down my list as far as favorites, but really the only options are rolling and brushing, pressure pot, cup gun, or gel rig. Rolling and brushing is not bad on small parts. If you've had practice or you're going to post finish the parts, rolling and brushing is not bad. Cup gun sucks. Pressure pot also kind of sucks, but it's better than nothing. This is a 64 ouncer you get from Harbor Freight. I'm pretty sure it's under $70 still. This comes with a 1.8 tip. You can drill them out. I've had mixed experiences with that. I would say I don't encourage it unless you really need to get a lot of material down quickly. The risk of using this is that you have to catalyze however much material is in your pot. So this pot comes off here. We'll see how tight it is. Real tight. This pot's not coming off here today, but if it had been really well cleaned last time, this pot would come off. You put your material in here, hook your air up here, and it basically pressure feeds the material right into the gun right here. This is your air line. This is your material line. You hold this in this hand, spray with this hand. The problem is when it's a hot day and you start to kick in the gun or in the lines. Even as your gel coat starts to get just a little bit thicker, it restricts the flow, and it's kind of like a snowball effect. And eventually what happens is you end up running around panicking, trying to clean this thing out before it does its job. If you choose to spray at night, or you can do it in a time of year where it's not as hot, or you can somehow climate control it, this is not a bad option. If you're going to do it, I suggest that you have a couple of them on hand, and you need to clean it really well with acetone before you use it, because these things are covered in some kind of yellow oil and it will transfer into your material. It'll fish eye. It's a mess. But if you have to use one of these, you can. As far as I'm concerned, we're using this. It's the only real way to get it done right. There are smaller versions that aren't as expensive. Phoenix makes an LF1. It's kind of similar to the MVP Pail Rider. You can set it right on a 5-gallon bucket. I think they're under $6,000. It's one of the first investments that you should make if you're going to lay up a lot of parts out of molds, I would say. And we'll go over this a little closer, show you all the different aspects of it. As you can see, this one's been through a little bit of war. She's covered in a ton of different colors. This actually came from the Zap Skimboard factory, is who I bought it from, and it was defunct and full of a multitude of materials. We got it cleaned out and serviced and brought back to life, and she's done really well for us so far, and we're glad to have it. And with a little bit of luck, we're going to talk to these guys on the podcast one day.